Welcome to the Woman's Villa educational series. This is our very first episode. I am super excited about it. We are the #1 resource for women's holistic health and wellness. My name is Deja Spence, and just to put an exclaimer out there, I am not a medical doctor. This is for entertainment purposes only. I do not want any of our videos to be pulled off of YouTube because they offer so much information. I teach women how to birth their babies from home holistically, just like how our ancestors was doing before there were hospitals and things like that. I help women to naturally get rid of their reproductive disorders, just like infertility issues, fibroids, endometriosis, ovarian cysts, and we do that all through nutrition and herbal teas. And lastly, I just sell products for healing the womb and for sensitive skin. So let's get right into our first video. So if you haven't seen it yet, I recently gave birth like last week. Oh, before I start, I just want to shout out the tea that I'm drinking for today. This is our best source of iron tea. You can find this on our website. So we have a few herbs exported from Jamaica that helps this tea to be very powerful. It's super imperative that we are putting back the iron in our body. I mean, a lot of people start off pregnancy being iron deficient in the first place, but it is also just as important to make sure that we are putting the right amount of iron back in our body after giving birth, because we lose a lot of blood during the birthing process, and then it helps to prevent postpartum shedding when it comes to the hair. A lot of women are complaining about that, but that is because you don't have the right amount of iron in your body. And then also the iron is also helping me produce quality breast milk as well as giving me an overflow. So I pair that with another tea that I have on my website. So make sure you go to my website to check out these teas. So let's get right into the video. Like I said earlier, I just recently gave birth about a week and a half ago. So it was an unassisted home birth. And so an unassisted home birth or water birth is birthing your baby in the comfort of your own home without any medical interference. So this is my third unassisted home birth in under 3 years. Yes, I have been pregnant 3 years in a row. I've been pregnant since 2020. We are now in 2024. So yeah, I make sure that I stay on top of my nutrition as well as drinking my herbs and just working on my mental, because I don't want to fall into postpartum depression or anything like that, right? And so that's why I make sure that I stay on top of my teas as well, because having low iron contributes to depression as well as postpartum depression, right? And so not only have I did unassisted births, but I have also done wild pregnancies. And wild pregnancies is just not doing any doctor visits, not doing any ultrasounds, any glucose tests, any lethal injections, right? Like not really even stepping foot inside the OBGYN, right? Doing everything from home. Our ancestors have been doing this for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And so I have the strength of my ancestors. So with that being said, I just want to tell y'all a little bit about why I started doing unassisted home births. So it started off back in 2021. I was looking for an all-black birthing team, but I am in Las Vegas right now, and so at that time I'm looking for black doulas, and I'm also looking for black midwives, and I couldn't find any, right? So I had like 2 black doulas to choose from, and I was able to pick one when we tried to go to the birthing center to see how much it would be for a midwife. It was out of my price range. It was about $3,500 at the time, and also they didn't take my insurance, right? And so I kind of was like felt stuck. Okay, I have a doula, but I don't have a midwife, right? And at this time, I'm not as knowledgeable back then as I am now. And so on my doula's website, I saw that she did unassisted home births. And I'm like, what's unassisted, right? So just like doing a home birth without a midwife. So with the unassisted home birth, you can do a home birth with a doula because they don't have any like medical training or licensing like a midwife has, right? And so it's okay to still have a doula and do an unassisted home birth, or a free birth as what they like to call it. And so I ran across the alkaline doula, and I saw that she helped her sister give birth to surprise twins in the video. And I was like, wait a minute. So women are really out here giving birth with just the people that's surrounding them, like they don't need a midwife. And so I just resonated with that very, very heavy. And so I was like, you know what? I want to go ahead, and I feel like I can do that. I'm very low risk. I've been plant-based for about 8 years now. But at that time, like I was plant-based for going on 6 years, or yeah, like 5 years. And so I started like really preparing. I was already preparing anyway to do a home birth. I already knew that's what I wanted to do. I did not want to be inside of a hospital. Like my people are from Jamaica, and so they don't really go to the hospitals. They go to a bush doctor. If you get sick, you drink some herbs, right? And so that's why I'm so deeply rooted into the herbs and knowing how these things like really, really work, right? Because I've been through I had an illness in my life that I was able to get rid of. I had rosacea and chronic acne all over my face, and I was going to doctors and I was going to dermatologists, and they did not have anything to help me. And so that's when I first learned about Dr. Sebi back in 2016, and then I started my journey in 2017 of digging deep into herbs and going plant-based and things like that. And so all of that led me where I am today. So anyway, okay, so I have the doula. She charges $2,100 for an entire package, and I'm like, okay, that's good, because we would have been paying like $5,000 for a midwife and a doula. You know what I mean? So $2,100 is way better than paying $5,000. And so we was able to split those payments up into two. And so she was more like spiritual. She was kind of on the same energy that I'm on, where it's like we use herbs and things like that, right? Very holistic. And so at this point, I was going to the OBGYN with my first pregnancy. My now fiance, he wanted to know like what we were having, because this was our first baby. This was his second child. So at this point, we're going to the OBGYN. And then I remember one of my friends reached out to me and was like, you know, Deja, getting ultrasounds really isn't good for you, you know, so you should stop getting ultrasounds. And she said that, and it's not that I didn't believe the information, I just didn't want to hear that at the time, you know. And so now I'm starting to feel like that's what a lot of people like. Sometimes you hear truth that you don't want to hear, and so you dismiss it. And so I noticed that at my next ultrasound, I just can intuitively feel that my baby did not like it. And so I started digging deep into, you know, ultrasounds and the effects that it has on babies and things like that. And I found out that ultrasounds actually damage the baby cells. You know, that the gel that they put on your belly, it really isn't the healthiest. You know what I mean? It has, the ultrasounds have radioactive waves. So I started kind of being opposed to getting ultrasounds, and my glucose test was coming up. I know the glucose test is really full of, it's like a really sugary drink. And then I know like when you have a midwife, they have you like drink apple juice or eat, you know, just they have different methods of doing it. And so I asked my OBGYN, like, will I be able to do an alternative other than taking the glucose drink? And they told me no. And then I was like, well, what if I refuse it? And they were saying that my OBGYN has the right to like deny me as a patient. And so I was like, I don't like that. And I was like, I feel like I could just do this on my own. I've been already drinking my own herbs. My nutrition is up to par. I just feel like I could do this on my own. I'm already doing a home birth at home. I told them about it and they were kind of against me doing a home birth. So I just felt like they were against a lot of the things that I really wanted to do. So I was like, you know what, at between 22 and 24 weeks, I was like, I'm not going to my next appointment at 24 weeks to take the glucose test. I just stopped going. And the crazy thing is, they didn't even reach out to me like, hey, are you okay? Are you and the baby, is the baby okay? Like, I just stopped going and they didn't say nothing to me. They didn't reach out, they didn't send an email, anything. And I was just like, damn, like, they don't really care about me. You know what I mean? So I was happy with the decision that I was making, even though I was jumping into the unknown, right? I really had to trust myself and I really had to trust my body. Sorry, my daughter is right here. So then I went on with that pregnancy without going back to the OBGYN again and just doing everything that my intuition is telling me to do. If I need a certain herb, I'll get it in a dream, and next thing you know, I'll get it the next day and I'm drinking that herb, right? I'm making my own prenatal stuff. Like, I'm really, and then she, also my doula had some herbs too that I was using. And so, boom, it's time for me to have the baby. And I'm in labor, but I don't really actually know that I'm in labor. And I remember my doula was saying, like, a lot of times, like, women get into false labor and then she be having to go all the way over there to their house for them not even to be in labor. So I was like, I don't want that to be me. So I'm literally in labor, right? And I don't know that I'm in labor, and I'm not even calling her to tell her to come over because I don't want to be like the women that she was talking to me about, right? And so literally my fiance like, no, like, you look like you're about to give birth, so let me call the doula. So he ended up calling the doula, and the doula, she shows up like between 30 and 45 minutes before I push out the baby. And we didn't even get to really fill up the tub in time because she was coming so fast. And so I was just like, you know what? I feel like not saying that my 2100 went to waste, but I just kind of feel like next time we can literally do this ourselves, right? So we watched her clean the placenta. We watched how she put the pink Himalayan salt to dehydrate the placenta, as well as put the herbs on there to mask the smell, because I wanted to do a lotus birth. I did not want to eat my placenta or just discard it. I felt called to bury it with the tree and give it back to Mother Nature. And so that's exactly what I did. So then I ended up getting pregnant again, right? So 2 under 2, and I was like, I strongly feel like this time we can do this on ourselves. So I'm making my own prenatal teas. I'm making my iron teas. I'm eating plant-based. I'm eating more raw foods. I'm juicing more. I'm eating more salads, right? I'm doing everything. Like, I'm literally preparing for, like, I'm going to a championship game. And the only reason why I'm preparing like this is because I know that we are doing this by ourselves now, that we don't have any external resources or any backup or anything like that. And so that's when I had my second daughter, and we did a whole wild pregnancy. We did not like go to the OBGYNs and things like that. Like, we really did another this is the first wild pregnancy where it's like, I don't even know what I'm having. I don't even know what the gender is. So at our baby shower, we did a gender neutral baby shower, right? And so I just really felt confident. Hey, mommy talking, okay? Shh. I just really felt confident in the route that I was taking, right? And so I remember in my first pregnancy, a lot of people was like, are you sure you want to do a home birth, right? And so I know that I had to stay away from those people because I did not want them to plant seeds of doubt in my mind, right? And so boom, with the second pregnancy, she came even quicker than the first, my first pregnancy. It literally was about 2.5 hours, almost 3 hours, and she just came right out, right? And so we took care of everything ourselves. We did everything ourselves. And then I ended up getting pregnant at 5 months postpartum. And so with this one, I even went harder. I did more of raw foods because I kept having dreams about it. And you know, it is so important. It is so important that you wait 2 years in between your pregnancies, right? Because it can have long-term effects, just getting pregnant back to back to back. And especially breastfeeding, right? It takes about between 30 to 50% of your energy, right? And so I was making sure that I was eating as clean as possible, eating more raw foods, going instead of going shopping at the grocery store, I'm going to the orchard and I'm getting like food that they're growing from the ground, and I'm picking my own foods and I'm picking my own vegetables and making sure that I'm healthy, as well as I'm drinking my prenatal tea every day. I'm drinking my iron tea every day. I am doing yoga, right? I am doing all that I need to do to make sure that I have the energy, I have the right mindset in order to go into this third pregnancy, right? Another wild pregnancy. I don't know what I'm having. This time I'm juicing every day, right? With my last pregnancy, I was juicing a lot too, but this time I'm juicing every day. I started eating okra at 28 weeks, right? Some people wait until the last few weeks, not me. I needed this baby to slide right out, right? And so I'm eating okra, I'm mixing it with my drinks and I'm drinking it, and I'm doing it every single day, right? Because each pregnancy is like a rebirth, and each pregnancy I'm learning more and more and more, and I'm implementing this information. And this time I actually shared my journey with my followers. And so so I recorded this most recent home birth. We had yet another girl. I definitely wanted a boy, but that's okay. We had yet another girl. Her name is Prosperity Joy Green. She's a delight. She came within like 2 hours, right? And so 1 minute I'm showing on Instagram that we filling up the pool. The next minute I got a baby, breastfeeding a baby in my arm, right? And a lot of people were just amazed by it because I shared my whole journey, and I'm just like, okay, well, I want y'all to see like how it is when I'm in labor, how I'm handling contractions. I was in the water the whole time. And I also, with my second pregnancy, I was in the water as well, and I feel like being in the water, like it was more manageable. I had a tea this time like I did last time, my own tea. It's called Here Comes the Baby, and that helped to open the pelvic region. It helped to manage the contractions better, and it helped to keep the contractions steady. So for any of the women who are going through labor and their contractions begin to stall, right? Here Comes the Baby just keeps a rhythm and keeps them going. And so I drank that tea. I only needed 1 cup because boom, baby was coming. And I was talking to her as well, you know. I had my affirmations board put up. I just knew that I was having her that day. I actually had her 2 days after I gave birth. And so during this most recent pregnancy, I see that a lot of women was interested in me like giving birth at home unassisted and doing a wild pregnancy. And so I created a virtual community on Facebook called Unassisted Home Birth Mentality, where women who are interested in birthing their babies from the comfort of their own home, they come and they learn more information about it. I share my journey, I share my tips, I share my knowledge, and it just doesn't stop at pregnancy. I speak about breastfeeding, I speak about the postpartum experience. You know, I wanted to create a safe community for women who are interested in doing this to not really get backlash from other people who are just so dependent on the medical industry, right? And so you can follow Unassisted Home Birth Mentality on Facebook. I'll also have the link in the bio, and you just answer just a few questions just so I can know where everyone is in their journeys, and then I can provide better information. So even women who are just suffering nutritionally, or if you've had C-sections before, you can definitely have a VBAC, and you can definitely still give birth unassisted at home, right? And it doesn't even just have to be unassisted, but this particular group is just for women who don't mind birthing without a birthing team. And so that's kind of my background when it comes to unassisted home birthing, and that's kind of my story on how I started. So I started with trying to find a Black birthing team, but I ended up just winging it and doing it without medical interference, and I'm just here to tell you that you can too. If you're interested in doing that, you definitely can do that. I feel like my ancestors as well as God has been guiding me on this journey, and now I am just here to share a wealth of knowledge with my YouTube followers and subscribers. So thank you for watching the very first video of this new educational series. I plan to post at least once a week. I also post a vlog of being a mom with 3 under 3 once a week, so you'll be seeing me twice a week on your timeline making longer videos. I will really appreciate if you liked, subscribe, share my channel, and make sure you go watch my emotional unassisted home birth video. I'm just very happy that I was able to film it and able to give more women inspiration, and yeah, let's blow that video up. So I will see y'all on the next episode, in episode 2. Talk to you soon.